1971 was a strange and wonderful year in music. Rock was growing up, pop was getting smarter, soul was getting deeper, and tucked quietly between legendary albums and career-defining hits was a collection of songs that burned bright for one perfect moment, then disappeared into history. These weren't novelty acts, these weren't accidents. These were artists who captured lightning exactly once and left behind songs so memorable that even today, the moment they come on, people stop what they're doing and say, "Oh, wow, I forgot about this." Tonight, we're stepping back into 1971 to revisit the forgotten one-hit wonders, the songs that ruled the radio for a brief moment and then quietly slipped into nostalgia. Let's begin with a song that sounds like innocence itself, Indian Reservation. This haunting, irreflective hit became one of the best-selling singles of the year. Its message was somber, its melody unforgettable, and its impact undeniable. Yet the artist behind it, known simply as the Raiders at this point, never recaptured the same level of success. The song stood apart from everything else on the charts. Serious, emotional, and heavy in a year dominated by brighter sounds. It lingered in listeners' minds long after it faded from radio rotation, becoming one of those songs that feels more like a memory than a hit. Next, a song that sounded like pure freedom, Riders on the Storm. Yes, the Doors were not a one-hit band, but this era of their sound, especially following Jim Morrison's death, feels frozen in time. The rain-soaked atmosphere, the whispered vocals, the jazz-infused groove, it felt like nothing else in 1971. And while the Doors had many hits, this song stands alone in how it's remembered. It floats through pop culture, disconnected from the band's larger catalog, often remembered as a standalone moment rather than part of a larger legacy. Now let's turn to a song that felt like optimism wrapped in harmony. Joy to the World, Jeremiah Was a Bullfrog, and Three Dog Night briefly ruled the world. This song was everywhere. Playful, catchy, and impossible to avoid, it became one of the biggest hits of the year. And yet, for all its success, Three Dog Night's broader catalog faded faster than expected. Joy to the World remained. Everything else quietly slipped away. The song became larger than the band itself, a true one-hit wonder experience for many listeners. Next, something smoother. Take Me Home, Country Roads. Again, not a one-hit artist, but a moment that eclipsed everything else. This song became an anthem, a cultural artifact, and a permanent fixture in American music. For many listeners, it exists independently of the rest of John Denver's work. It wasn't flashy. It didn't try to impress. It simply felt right, and that's why it endured. Now let's talk about a song that captured joy and heartbreak at the same time. Signs. This song questioned everything, authority, conformity, social norms, and did it with a melody so gentle you almost didn't realize how sharp the message was. Five-man electrical band delivered a thoughtful protest song disguised as easy listening. The band never replicated the success, but the song lived on, becoming one of the most quietly powerful hits of the era. Next, a song that sounded like summer itself. Under Uncle Albert / Admiral Halsey, this whimsical, multi-part hit felt like a musical postcard. Playful, strange, and completely unconcerned with traditional structure, it stood out immediately. While the artist behind it continued to find success, this song remained singular, its own strange little universe that no follow-up ever truly matched. Now let's bring in a song that sounded like sunshine on vinyl. Chirpy, chirpy, cheep, cheep. Lighthearted, catchy, and relentlessly upbeat, this song dominated airwaves for a brief, surreal moment, and then vanished. The band behind it never found another hit, but this one moment of joy lived on, resurfacing every few decades like a time capsule from a simpler era. Next, a song that blended mystery and melancholy. Me and You and a Dog Named Boo. This gentle folk pop tune painted a vivid picture of wanderlust and quiet companionship. It felt intimate and personal, as though the singer was telling you a secret. The artist behind it never reached the same heights again, but this song endured, drifting through decades of soft rock playlists and late-night radio. Now let's talk about a song that sounded like sophistication, Stay a While. Smooth, emotional, and understated, this hit captured the quieter side of early 70s pop. It wasn't loud, it didn't demand attention, it simply invited it. And then, like so many one-hit wonders, it faded, leaving behind a melody that still feels timeless. Next, a song that felt slightly dangerous. Go Away Little Girl. This wasn't rebellion, it was restraint. Emotional tension wrapped in a catchy melody. The song resonated because it felt honest and conflicted. While the artist enjoyed a brief moment in the spotlight, this song remained the defining memory. And finally, we end with a song that captured reflection itself. If You Could Read My Mind. This wasn't just a hit, it was a confession. Thoughtful, introspective, and emotionally raw, it stood out in a year full of bigger sounds. The song lived on long after its chart success, often remembered independently from the artist's broader work. That's the thing about one-hit wonders. They don't fade because they weren't good enough. They fade because they were complete. They captured a moment so perfectly that nothing else was required. 1971 was filled with musical giants, but these songs remind us that sometimes one perfect moment is all it takes to leave a lasting mark. If one of these songs brought back a memory or surprised you, tell us which one hit hardest. And if you love revisiting forgotten corners of music history, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Because sometimes one song is enough. And as always, keep that turntable spinning.